Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to thank you for tuning in and watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If this is a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now, if you're not a member or not logged into Stunthangar, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That Stunthangar, that's all the letters are there, .com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. Okay. You must place a space when you register between your real first and last name. You must also use a valid email address, or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in and just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here, and I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. Now, understand, sometimes even I can't get a word in, so please be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. Okay. And by the way, you only can make comments or questions during a live stream. I'm talking about inside the chat box. So remember, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if you enjoy, and if you find that the Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, that you enjoy it, please give us a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And also, if you enjoy the videos that Sparky does on this platform, he does a lot of building, a lot of sanding. He also does contests, and he goes to John Jordan's house, and they have like a show at John Jordan's shop, and that's really good. Those two guys together really get a lot of stuff done. So hopefully with all that, you'll consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. Now, I'm also a member, so I'm not asking you to do something I'm not doing myself. I have the $4.99, which is like a cup of coffee at Starbucks, just once a month. I have that come out of my checking account, and I don't miss it, and I suspect you won't miss it either. Plus, you'll be helping support, hopefully, something you're passionate about like I am. Now, if you don't want to do the subscription, which is just once a month, you can do the super chat, which is at the bottom of the chat box over here, and you can donate any amount you like. And please, the more the merrier, please. Now, if you want to get in touch with me, see, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. I'm missing here twice a week. So if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. That's what I do. I fly control line stunt. And go to that YouTube channel. And if you locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, you can see me flying Sparky's Junar XL at the 2019 AMA National Championships. And that's my channel. So if you have a question or comment, I'll be notified and be able to respond to you quickly. Please consider doing that. And if you do that, please like and subscribe there just as well. Now, I want to ask you to, if you come in, please keep the conversations about model airplanes, and also, pretend your grandchildren around you. So don't use words or do things you wouldn't say or do around your own children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to post now the link to the Stunthangar forum. Let me do that right now. Okay, and that's how you get in. There's some people who've been asking, how can I get in? And I feel bad, but that's the way to get in, is to go to stunthangar.com /SMF, and then you just come in on your own time. You don't have to come in at the beginning. You can come in toward the end. It's up to you. I'm going to go now to the what I call the control panel and see how things are going. I can see we are streaming. That's good. I see Tom Rammel's there already. Thank you, Tom, for coming in. And I imagine you have provided a like already. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And let me see here. Let me also do this here real quick. Just bear with me. All right, so there we go. All right. And here we go. Almost the end of this year. Isn't that amazing? It is absolutely amazing. But another year almost came and went. Just a few more days, we'll be looking at 2023. And I'm hoping that we can even expand upon what we did this year. This year was not bad. I have some people that came in this year that weren't a part of the show the previous year, and I appreciate their attendance very much. Looks like we have 6 concurrent viewers, 2 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please smash that. That helps the analytics of the show. And I'm going to edit something real quick so that I don't forget to do this. All righty. So I didn't go flying today. Actually, the song says it never rains in Southern California, but that must have been before because we had some rain and the ground was wet when I woke up this morning, and figured the ground was wet from the rain all morning that we had. So didn't go out there. Plus, I really wasn't finished with working on my P40. I have a Brodak P40 ARF that is going to be my sacrificial lamb for me to get really comfortable flying down low, 4 feet, coming out of maneuvers at 4 feet. I can fly level, probably a half a foot above the deck, but I want to get comfortable, very comfortable down there. So that's what that plane is for. Looks like Howard Rush is making his way in here. Hey, Howard, you're the first one in here. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be here.
Yes, that's great. So how you been?
I've been all right.
Good. Have you been working on one of your dogs, or what you been doing?
I've been working on the control deflection program.
Control deflection program?
Yeah, the control geometry program.
Oh, cool. Very, very cool. Now, you had one before, so it's a new and improved version of that?
This is, I think it might be improved.
Cool.
Yeah, it's improved. I did a bunch of stuff, but the improvement is maybe only slight. But it's pretty cool.
Oh, I'd like to see it. If you don't mind sharing it with me, that'd be great.
I do from time to time, don't I? Didn't I send it to you?
Yeah, I have the old one.
Yeah. Okay, I'll send you this one.
Yeah.
I could do a run through of it sometime.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be great. When we have more people in here, that'd be great to show off how it works.
Yeah, I'd have to get my shit together first.
Okay. Now, have you found yourself that you really decided upon, a certain spacing between your pivot point and where the bell crank rotates? Have you through trial and error, have you discovered like yours is 15/16 of an inch or 3/4 of an inch or 7/8? Have you gone through different iterations
on the bell crank?
Yeah.
I've been using 0.8 inches because that's what windy bell cranks come with.
Oh, okay.
I think. Anyhow, yeah, but it worked out with a stock windy bell crank, which I used. Well, I put slots in the end, but the stock dimensions, it worked out. So,
because I really don't know what I like, because I've the planes that I've flown, some of them I haven't seen what the distance is.
Yeah, you don't know it. There's a lot. There's more to the geometry than that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, but I'm always putting in 1.5 flap horn and then the slotted elevator horn. Those have pretty much been consistent. But as far as the distance, I don't know what I like particularly with far as the bell crank. I got some bell crank material. I hope to make some bell cranks in the future. Looks like Jim Hoffman. I see his avatar. He's making his way in here.
You don't try to figure out what you like. You figure out what Brett Buck likes and copy that, or David. Or those.
Yes. Hey, Jim, how are you doing?
Hey, Charles. Hey, Howard. How are you?
Lovely.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for coming in, Jim. I appreciate it.
It's nice to be here.
Yeah, that is great. It really
It
is.
rained here today.
Really? Now, is that a rare occurrence in Tucson?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, excuse me.
Yeah, we don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well,
I imagine the ground didn't stay wet very long, I imagine.
Just the opposite. The ground is hard. It doesn't soak in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're flash floods.
Yeah, that happens.
Wow.
They have something called the idiot law here because there's signs by all the washes that say, don't drive into this wash when the water's running, which is, 1/1,000,000% of the time. But so people ignore it. So the idiot law says we're going to come and save your butt, but then you're going to pay us for our costs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would teach someone to not do that again.
I once forded the flooded Wabash River in a '59 Oldsmobile.
Did you make it?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Hey, welcome, Mark Wise, and thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
I've been thinking about poor Mark's problem with the Snickers, and we have a Snickers downstairs left over from Halloween. I haven't checked it out yet to see if it has peanuts in it, but
thank you.
I looked online to see if there was some kind of a national calamity, but
Wow.
there was not. So I think the problem was localized or imaginary.
Well, I understand at the 50th anniversary celebration at the Nats, I will be committed. So we'll go from there.
All right.
Let me welcome Gary Sinclair. Thank you, Gary, for coming in.
Hi, Gary.
Like provided.
Gary.
Oh, thank you very much.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Absolutely. So with the rain, I guess you haven't done any flying, Jim, right?
Well, I said it rained today.
Today.
It
Yeah.
was nice yesterday, and I
Of course.
drove down to Tucson and I flew with John Callentine.
Oh, very, very cool.
Groovy.
Very cool. So what did you fly? What did John fly as well?
Well, John flew his green Thunder Gazer.
All right, I saw that at Las
I
Vegas.
flew that orange Predator that you saw.
Mm.
And I also flew a Slimer. So that I hadn't done that in a while.
Slimer, is that a combat ship or?
I hope so.
Tell him, Howard. Tell him.
That's an acoustic stunt plane.
That's any glow airplane.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I get it.
So it reminded me how much I really do like flying the electrics.
Very good. That just went right over my head.
Yeah. You can hurt yourself with those things.
Yes. Let me welcome Brad LaPointe. Thank you, Brad, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Hi, Charles.
Hi, Brad.
I saw your comment
Hey,
on
Brad.
someone having problems with prop nuts coming off on the Stunthangar forum. Did you comment on that thread?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Very cool. Have you been, Brad?
Yeah, survived the holidays.
All right.
Just finished off the last turkey soup tonight.
Good looking. Yeah.
Very good. And let me welcome Keith Trossel. Thank you, Keith, for coming in. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Hi,
And looks
Keith.
like we have a combo here with Bob Gore. Bob, who is with you? Who's to your right?
My flying buddy, Dave Miller.
Hey, Dave,
Oh.
welcome. Thank you for coming in.
Hey, Howard.
yeah, I've flown with Howard before.
Oh, really? Oh, that's fantastic. So you're a retread, or you've been flying consistently all these years?
I've been flying all these years, but I haven't always been to all the contests and everything.
Very cool.
Well, anyhow, I'm showing him what we do here, and he's going to try to get all hooked up with his computer when he gets home.
Oh, good.
Oh, great.
We had a wing dig in his front yard after a contest. It was swell, or Saturday night between days of the contest. I remember that.
Hey,
Thanks.
Howard, I did get this photo today from Joe Daly.
Make it big here. 1 second.
Let's see if I can get it in there.
Mark, we.
Oh. Oh, that must have made you happy, huh?
Well, I said it was a spam, and he should open up one of them and chew them in the store and find out.
Yes.
So
See if there's peanuts in it. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
and then did some of you, hopefully you Tampa members, got the newsletter?
Yes, I have mine right here, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
I did not.
Yeah, on the cover is our friend Tim, and he sends me a note. He said, "Thanks for putting me on the cover. I guess I should join Pampa."
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good way to
I
get
think-
in here.
I think that would be nice. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope you guys like the edition.
Yeah, I just kind of opened it up and went through the pages. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But you should be getting yours soon, Jim. I imagine you'll get yours soon. And look who's here. We got Stuart. Thank you, Stuart, for coming in.
Yep, thanks. Right.
Appreciate that. And Dave Hall. David McSlow, how you doing?
So Charles, good to see you.
Great. Good to see you too. You a little bit cold where you're at? So you got a beanie on.
I think I have a defective heater.
Oh man. Well, I feel you on that. You need it now. You don't normally need it in Southern California, but yeah, it's kind of cold.
Yeah, without it, you don't think much about it, but once it gets below, 58 degrees, you need something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been using a space heater in my garage because my garage is, like 54, 55 different times, it's cold in there. It's really cold. So plus I'm on the concrete. So even that itself makes you cold, so.
Oh yeah, something that's really nice is just throw down a piece of old carpeting and be sure not to wear tennis shoes because the heat just goes right out the bottom of your legs and
Okay.
that'll freeze you.
I just feel terrible for you guys.
Yeah, it brings a tear to your eye, doesn't it?
I mean, I can get any sympathy, David. We're not gonna get any sympathy, or even Jim Hoppin. We're not getting any sympathy for the weather.
Rain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
well, if you put your money into actually insulation in the house and the wall, it makes a difference. If there's no insulation in the wall, it's like calling up the gas company and saying, send all of it. We're going to heat it up to 68 today.
Yeah.
So
have you been working on any airplanes lately since last time you've been in the show?
you're asking me, Charles?
Yeah, you, David.
Oh, sure. I can show you one of my latest projects. If I can aim this around here.
Oh, that is cool looking.
Yeah, what this is, I didn't build it. This is a rebuild job. This was designed by Larry Ringer for hollow log racing that the Knights of the Round Circle had, usually at the December contest. And this one had suffered, I think, 2 consecutive wrecks where the first one snapped off the tail. It was completely off.
You must have muted your mic. We see your lips moving. We couldn't hear you for a second or a moment.
Okay, I'm trying. Maybe I should take off some of this warm. So the other thing that happened was you probably see here, there's this ugly paint line.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
This piece of the wingtip was just missing.
Oh,
So
okay.
Larry gifted it to me, I don't know, about a year ago and said, Dave, see what you can do with it. So I did the old process of making some replacement pieces and trying to blend it in. With this wingtip, I actually glassed it on. I made the balsa piece underside
Like that.
and then I took some 1/2 ounce glass, the thinnest I can ever find, and patched that in and blended it. So the blend came out really smooth, but it had class coat epoxy paint on it. And there was quite a bit of orange peel on the original paint. I don't know if you can see that. A little speckly.
Painted orange.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I can make out a little orange peel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, what's happened is the base paint is a deeper red and a little pebbly, and the new paint that I put on is you can see the shine there,
Oh yeah, really shining flat. Yeah.
and then you can't quite see it across the blend zone.
Yeah.
Then you can see the shine at the lower portion, but it's the inboard portion of the wing, but you can see the
orange
speckly,
peel. Yeah, I see
which
that.
is the
Yeah.
orange peel.
Yeah, you got 3 different textures going. That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm not, I don't claim to be anything other than a absolute hack at painting, but I went in and I tried to use a little bit of compound on the blend line, and that's not working real great on the orange peel. So it's done. Other than that, today I was just trying to stretch the landing gear. One of the reasons it crashed, Larry believed, was that the original landing gear was really short, and when the tail picked up to take off, it picked up, and the propeller touched and it walked the nose.
You know, Dave, your audio goes in and out. I don't know
Oh.
why, but we're getting not every word you're saying clearly.
Oh,
but,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay. I'm glad you have. What mode are you going to put in that plane?
Oh, yeah.
Larry sent it to me with a
It's a mute.
Larry
Was it-
sent it to me with a Venom, and I went through the engine. The engine's pretty good, cleaned it up, so the Venom is ready to go back on.
I'm not familiar with the Venom. What kind of engine is that?
That's a Cox engine that was set up specifically with the same features, or as many of them as they could manage, as the mouse racing modifications. So Paul Jabot was heavily involved in the list of mouse racing modifications. Larry Ringer himself was, I don't know what you want to say, the project or product engineer that sort of pushed the Venom through the Cox factory. So to me, it was a significant airplane because it's Larry's design. It's also significant because it had the Venom engine on it. So my goal was just to put it back as close as I could to kind of his original configuration. And we may go out and fly it once just so he can see it, but I'll probably put it on the wall as kind of a memory of, a life member. You can see it's still got my friend wheels all over the place. Still got his AMA life.
AMA number. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to call Larry Ringer. It just slips my mind. So if you happen to talk to him anytime soon, invite him to come in. And if he doesn't know how to come in, maybe you guys can come in together, just like Bob Gore is doing with his flying buddy.
Mhm.
I'd love to have Larry Ringer in here. He would be a great resource for people out there, especially if they have half A questions or Cox questions. Yeah. You couldn't do better than Larry Ringer, I don't think.
Yeah, he's got a tremendous amount of history for a certain era of the Cox factory work. we had our half-a day. Unfortunately, it was a clear, it was clear and sunny, but it was blowing like crazy for the Santa Ana conditions. And so we only had about 6, 8 guys show up. But he brought, and I'm not sure exactly who brought what all, but there was, for example, one of the big plastic Comanche ready to flies, which I had actually never seen before. I knew they existed. But I don't know if the guys here have seen that half-a day that we've had before, but I would almost think that was the most model airplanes at one flying site, maybe ever. There's pictures on YouTube that Tony Accurso took, and I forget the number, but it was hundreds.
Oh, hundreds. I haven't seen that picture. I've seen some big turnouts on half-a day. I have seen I saw a plane there with I don't know how many Cox engines on it, lots.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big event. I've been meaning to go there too.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years running, we had Tony Nacarato's B-36 bomber profile half-a with however many thousand engines, the B-36 had. That was a trip. And we also had Ron Dooley's, I want to call it a Zwilling. It basically was 2, I think, and I'm a little vague on the memory here, but I think it was 2 Henschel bombers that were twinned by joining them at the wingtip. So you had 2 fuselages and an extended straight chord wing in the middle. And I think that has 5 engines on it. And I believe there was a picture of it this last year in the AMA magazine for the Nats scale entry.
All right.
So there's been some interesting planes there.
Let me interrupt and let me welcome John Miller. Thank you for coming in, John. Appreciate it. And Dennis Adamison's in the house. Thank you for coming in, Dennis. Thank you for the like. I see you put on the in the chat. Appreciate that. And we have a person here. His name is Control Line Precision Aerobatics. And he says, okay. I don't know who that is. That handle.
Belong to him. He's got his name on it.
Say it again.
I have some trophies that belong to him. They had his name on them.
I bet John's got some of those same trophies, doesn't he?
I have some trophies with his name on it also.
Man, I'm the only guy that doesn't.
I find that hard to believe. You don't have some trophies with Control Line Precision Aerobatics on it.
Well, at my first contest, I got almost straight 8s on my maneuvers. So that's sub rule book. That's hard to get.
Yeah, I know. Usually they give you 10 points for an attempt. So yeah, that's
yeah. I had to work extra hard to get the -2.
Yes. So it's funny. Let me see here. So control, that's all we have in the chat box. Tom Ramel did say like provided. And then Dennis Adamison said like provided, join you in a bit. So I'm all caught up. And we have 23 concurrent viewers and so far 13 likes and 0 chat revenue and 0 new members. If you haven't hit that like button, please do that before you punch out. Appreciate that. Does anybody do any work in their shop they would like to share with us? Or flying if you live in a place with good weather?
I think you got a report coming in from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, yes. That would be astounding. That would be.
He was wind flying, but he iced up.
Yes. If we got a report from Buffalo, that would be one of the most compelled person probably to ever want to fly.
Skis, either VTO or skis.
What was that again, Dave?
It would either need to have a vertical takeoff, VTO, or skis.
Oh yeah. I've seen skis on planes before. Hey,
ever try
Janet,
that?
I see you. You got caught in the act, Janet.
Seven to here today.
70?
Yeah.
Nice.
Now you should have gone out and fly. Take those birds off. Take those garage queens down and go flying, Gary.
Well, last Friday it was 19 below. Today it was 57. So
Wow.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
I didn't go flying, but I did go to the hobby shop. So that's
Hey,
That's
that's
almost as good. Yeah.
That's did you find anything interesting at the hobby shop?
just some parts and supplies and stuff, and had a little discussion there with the shop owner who used to be the club president, and discussed our plans for trying to run a control line stunt contest this spring. So, which is a pretty good thing considering that in, club of 150 members, there's only 2 of us that fly control line, and he's all on board with us trying to run an event there. So,
Oh, great.
Nice.
yeah. So I'm
I went to a
kind of
hobby
excited
store.
about that.
I went to a hobby store recently. It's been a while since I've purchased some glow fuel, and I was so surprised. Now, check this out. I bought a gallon of, now some people don't like it, but I bought a gallon of Omega fuel, 10%, $17.99.
That's a deal.
Had to be FAI fuel.
No, it's the Omega 10%, where it's
Wow.
basically half synthetic and half castor,
Must have been,
about 17% oil.
must
I
have been
always
sitting
add-
around for a few years though. 'Cause
No, it's a brand new. In fact,
I can't put a damper on it in any way. I'm Charles.
no,
It was a
because
quart
the guy,
bottle.
the owner of he owns 2 hobby shops, one in Escondido and one in San Diego, and he just gets a couple pallets of fuel, and he basically it's a lost leader. He doesn't. I don't think he
Oh.
intends to make any money on it. Obviously, $17.99. I don't think anyone can beat that price. And so I was just pleasantly surprised with everything else going up. I was expecting, it was I guess when I picked up the jug, there was no price on it. So I went to the register with expectations of it being, more than what I paid for last time, but that was the same price I paid for it a couple of years ago. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Nice.
I know it'd be kind of
yeah.
expensive, but if you ever do come out here to come fly with me, stop by the hobby store and get some fuel. Hey,
Okay.
Lynn Burrell, thanks for coming in. And Carl
guys.
Reed, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it.
Hey, Charles, what brand of fuel was that you bought?
Oh, the Omega, the pink stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's the Pink Panther.
'Cause I know that was it 10% or 15%?
I picked up 10%.
Yeah, that's why. Because the cool running stuff, the
Cool
green
Power?
color stuff is a little bit cheaper than Cool Power is a little bit cheaper than the Omega fuel is,
Okay.
and 10% is cheaper than the 15%.
Right.
So
Right. But now that the weather's kind of cool, I can get away with 10%. I probably can get away with 5% because the temperature is cooler now. So, and then 15% is, getting close to paint remover.
Mhm.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know. I think
you know,
$17 a gallon sounds like what I paid for Omega 10%.
yeah.
Last gallon I bought in 2008. So
Was that the same gallon?
it might be. It might be older stock or something like that. But if it's been sealed, it'll be fine. So
Yeah, it'd be fine. Oh, I got it.
I do know the glow plugs have gone up quite a
Oh, yeah.
bit. I just bought some OS Max 8s and OS Max 6, and the 8s were like $10 a piece. So
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a bargain.
I see Thunderbolt for $20 a
That's
piece.
good then.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, damn.
What you got there, Dennis? What are you waving? What is that?
A battery.
Yeah.
Is that a Vant battery?
No glow plug needed.
No,
That's a glow fuel generator. What you do is you take,
Hey, Dennis,
you jam it in the side of that.
you said you had a large club, but only 2 guys fly control line.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
he said.
Could I enter that? Because I really like to come in the top 3.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Mark.
It would look good on my resume.
Good
Mhm.
idea. Yeah, that's
Okay,
a
I'll
great
be there.
idea. I have a comment from John Shukalek. He says, "Does anyone have suggestions on attaching a plastic canopy to a monocoated balsa fuse?"
Yeah.
And by the way, he's already paid us for the answer. He's given us a $20 super chat. So let's really give him some really good answers. Thank you very much for that $20 super chat. Appreciate that immensely, John.
What you do is you set the canopy in the place where you want it. You take your X-Acto, a sharp blade, and you go around it with the X-Acto, cut it into the wood just a little bit. Take it off and then cut it about a 1/16 of an inch in, angling towards the first cut, go around. Now you got a channel, a wood channel you can set in. I like to use that canopy glue, it'll glue right in there. Or you can use epoxy.
No, I agree with John. RC56 canopy glue, but you got to glue the plastic to the wood. You're not gluing to the monocoat.
Right, right.
And let me make Dennis big here. See what he got. Oh yeah, that's shoe glue.
It's any number of names. There's a company makes goop. All right, GOOP. They got shoe goop. They got this goop, that goop, whatever. And I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's similar to RTV sealant, just regular silicone sealant, except it dries harder and it's a lot stronger than that. And it will glue plastic to plastic. All right. Downside being is that it's kind of thick and a little hard to handle, and you got to be really, really careful to get a nice seam around the edge so it doesn't, mess up around the edges. But it will hold the canopy. It'll definitely hold the canopy in place.
Hey, Dennis,
Yeah.
can you use, if you get a little bit outside of it where you're at, can you use anything to clean it off or something?
Maybe with a chisel or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Now, the trouble is that it doesn't dry real hard, which is why it works to hold plastic to plastic. And it's but it can be kind of messy, and it can be kind of messy to trim away because it's tough enough that it's hard to cut. All
So
right.
there's no solvent you can use to clean the edge if you want.
Yeah, I have had a little bit of luck. While it's still wet, you can work the edge just a little bit with water or alcohol or something like that on your finger, but then you take a chance on spreading it out some and stuff like that. So it's not an easy thing either, but I think if you had maybe a little putty knife or something like that might be the best answer.
Okay. So there's
But
nothing.
this is the only thing I've ever found that'll hold a windshield on, not a full canopy, but just a windshield.
Right.
Because it's only supported on one edge. That's a tough thing to hold down, or I've always had it. This will hold it, but you can glue right on the monocoat and it'll do the job.
Wow.
One thing that I've done in the past is I've put teeny holes all around the bottom edge of the plastic canopy, so it helps lock it in, because the glue can go into holes and it'll kind of hold in place. And if it's close to where you glue, and if you make that cutout, that little dungeon groove, then you don't even see the holes that you made, but it helps it hole that gives it
Yeah.
extra gluing power.
And if you do the groove trick like John was describing, adding those holes is a nice piece of insurance too. And the RC56 is thin enough, it'll flow through and fill the holes and stuff, and it dries perfectly clear. So again, yeah, that would be a good, that's like the belt, suspenders, and duct tape, all right? I have heard that RC56 isn't terribly fuel proof, so may or may not matter. I suppose if you get raw fuel on a canopy, you got other troubles anyway, but the other thing you can do is when your RC56 is completely dry, you put a piece of trim tape around the edge, and it'll look really, really professional. So
I along that line there, Dennis, what I have done oft times is I'll trim, put some tape above and below, and put a little epoxy with some microballoons fillets around the outside of the canopy. And then when you take the bottom one off, the one up to the fuselage, you can get some sandpaper in there after it's cured and kind of blend it down into the fuselage. But I like to leave that little edge around there because it's kind of like how it really is.
Very good. Let me welcome Mike Lonke. I know he's getting ready to get up and walk away, but thank you, Mike, for coming in. Appreciate it. And thanks for muting your mic. I know you're closing your garage door, so appreciate it. Now, I sometimes will heat that needle to put the holes in. I just heat the tip of the needle so it just kind of goes through the canopy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so John Shukalak, he says, so remove the monocoat. Yeah, if you're going to glue it with regular glue or the other glues other than the goop that Dennis mentioned, yeah, you need to remove the epoxy so it's a wood to wood, canopy to wood glue.
The monocoat, the little
the monocoat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
By the way, you were asking earlier, this morning I got up, I had almost 4 inches of snow in the yard.
Sure.
And right now out there, it's raining. There's not a bit of snow out there.
A couple of comments more on the typically, the way I would think of it is the canopy is made out of polyethylene material.
We can barely hear you, David.
Oh boy, I don't know where the
There you go.
microphone.
There it is. Oh,
That's
good
a
and
better
clear.
shot for the microphone.
Yes.
If the canopy is made out of polyethylene, then whatever solvent won't attack the polyethylene can be used to clean it up. And so a polyethylene canopy, if that's what you had, is impervious to almost anything. Lacquer thinner, naphtha is really good at taking off solvent curing glues. The goop is not anything like an RTV in the chemical sense, because it's a solvent curing thing, whereas RTV is a vulcanizing, room temperature vulcanizing thing. So it takes moisture from the air and that activates the vinegary stuff that's going on inside. So the trick of what you can use to clean up the canopy or the joint is going to be based on, are you trying to clean up over the top of dope? So, lacquer thinner would be a definite, probably not, unless you're willing to wipe up the paint itself and touch that up again. And then some of the old canopy material was kind of a cellulose-based material. So if you go way back, I don't know, I had this conversation here a few years ago, and I believe it was Mike from SIG was weighing in, but they were saying that even more recently, the canopies that they were making and shipping were similar material. So the plastic itself, if I was going to mess with a canopy and decide what I could use on it to clean it, I would take some of the trimmings off of that canopy and I would use something. And if just as a starting point, if I was using something like the goop, which is a solvent curing adhesive, I would start off with naphtha or lighter fluid as the first thing. Another thing that works very similar to that would be that Prepsol material usually comes in a spray can, and it's usually used as a pre-paint cleaning cycle to make sure you get the grease from your hands or whatever off. So look at the materials you're working with to find out compatibility. And then absolutely on some of those canopies, you can take stuff off. I've rebuilt a couple of ARF planes that were second-handed to me. And you'd be amazed at the kind of solvents you can use over the erstwhile monocoat, whether it's monocoat or another flavor of that. But I found that you could get even epoxy off of that if you're very careful and used lacquer thinner and even acetone very carefully. So that would be kind of a way that for guys like me that have trouble gluing down a canopy without getting sticky fingerprints somewhere, you can usually overcome that if you're very careful of what solvents you're using.
David, I appreciate what you said so much because I've ruined some canopies using, just carelessly using any solvent I want. And then when I get done, the canopy is all cloudy.
Yeah.
And it's not reversible.
Well, that's something else that we might mention. I don't use CA glues on canopies.
You got to move over to your mic again, David. There we go.
Okay. Man, that
Right
is
there.
really, really directional.
Yeah,
I don't use CAs on canopies, but as a general rule, but they can cause that cloudiness too, because when they kick off, they give out so much vapor. If you've ever sat above a glue joint that you're working on, and I'm nearsighted, so I always shove the work right up in my face to see what I'm doing, and then put the glue in, and so that it puts out that vapor, and that'll cause that clouding as well.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah, Mark.
In my earlier days, I was building a giant scale plane from carton, and I didn't like the way the canopy was on, and then I ruined it by putting something on it. Anyway, indirectly through Bob Violet, he said, take some sandpaper and very fine paper and sand the outside of the entire canopy. Just keep sanding it until you cannot see through it, and then shoot it with clear, and it comes out like glass. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
So if you ever screw up an important canopy, there is a way to save it.
Thank you. So many things you forget in this hobby, and I remember coming across that on a YouTube video, but I forgot it until you just reminded me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that's true of some of the plastic materials.
You got to move over to your right again, David.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I think that's true of some of the plastic materials. I know that one of my racing partners, Dave Dawson, actually won first place with a entry to the old AMA show here in Los Angeles. And when he brought the plane to the field one day, beautiful plane paint job, but he had color sanded everything, and so the canopy was just this massive scratched, and I thought, oh my God, this is not going to be good. And he did exactly what you said. He finished with a color sanding and then squirted clear over everything, including the canopy, and it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that you have to find a combination that's compatible. So if you have, let's say, one of those polyethylene canopies, like a soda bottle type of canopy, you may not get good enough adhesion, even with the scuffing, to get that clearness that you're talking about. I think where that trick really worked, and probably still works just as good with the right materials, is where you had a cellulose-based plastic, and then you used a dope, which is basically a nitrocellulose lacquer, and they just blended together and fused, and it just became perfectly clear.
Yep.
So the trick is knowing what kind of plastic you've got. And I know there was a discussion here probably a year or two ago on Stunthangar where somebody was trying to identify what plastic they had. Did it come from SIG? What was SIG using? And so all the experts weighed in, and that was a really good thread to go look at.
Yeah, yeah. I tried it first on my neighbor's headlights on his car, just to make sure,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to try that on my car too. Let me welcome Al Fierro. Thank you, Al, for coming in. Appreciate you coming in again. And John Shukalak said he'll be cleaning up over the canopy and the monocoat, and think I'll use shoe glue. So let us know how it works out, John. Appreciate
Make
you
sure the
coming in.
monocoat's glued down good.
Yeah.
Another good tip.
Hey, Mark.
Did you get the motor?
Yes, sir.
Oh man,
Ah,
look at that,
Thank-
Tom Lay.
Thank you very much, Mark. Much
Did it look good
appreciated.
did it
You,
look
you want to
good?
show it off? You want to show us the inside of that box?
Oh yeah, it's
I mean,
a
show us some
beautiful piece of
jewelry.
equipment.
Yeah, show us some jewelry, man.
There's the custom muffler that he sends with it. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah,
Let me
nice.
just turn it around here. There we go.
Oh, very nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's got shine.
There we are.
Oh, nice.
Woohoo.
Oh, that's really nice. Nice
Sweet.
example.
Sweet piece of engine. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Mark. Much
Sweet.
appreciated.
Thank you, Len.
Wow.
Which engine is that, Len?
Super Tiger 60.
Oh, okay.
That's
Glenn,
old school.
notice that the spray bar is through the venturi,
through
and
the-
not the
yeah.
sprinkler.
Yes, it's not the sprinkler. It's the right through
Tom
the center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for pointing that out, Jim. Appreciate
Yep.
that.
And that will probably dictate a little bit about your tank position too.
Most definitely. It'll be a standard 1/2 inch off the motor mount
Mhm.
or
Instead
close
of-
to that.
Instead of some goofy, yeah, nice.
Yeah. Otherwise it changes it a bit for sure. Yeah, if you put it through the venturi, which some guys do, they'll put it right through the venturi and it causes issues. Because then it's higher up, so you have to put more wood on top of your engine bearers or metal or something to bring the tank further
Right.
away from the engine mounts.
So now that you guys have seen the modern engine, the really high-tech modern engine, I can show you the one that I just got for the Fireball behind me.
All right.
I went over to a friend of mine's to try to figure out what engine to have.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And this was the only thing that fit in the plane. And we had to use
sweet.
the plane to figure out
Wow.
which engine it was built for.
Nice. Now, who makes
And-
that engine? I don't recognize it.
This is a torpedo, which was a predecessor of the K&B torpedo.
Okay.
Oh,
And in fact, just by coincidence, one of the guys in our club came across a couple of engines that were donated to him out at the field. And one was all frozen up, but some of the pieces removed. And he handed it to me and said, "Dave, see what you can do." And it turns out that a vast majority of the case of that first series of K&B glow engines is identical, but it didn't have the integral front timer housing here. The rest of the case here was the same. The case up to here was the same. And it didn't have the airfoiled exhaust port. It just had a kind of a regular looking exhaust port.
Notice how the motor mounts are above the center line of the crankshaft.
Yeah, exactly. And so
Wow. Oh, yeah.
You have to figure that in when you're designing the plane.
Well, the plane itself came from an estate sale to me from one of our former.
You got to move to your right again, David.
Okay. The plane itself came to me from an estate sale from one of our actual former club members. And so the challenge to me was the plane was in wood, nearly finished, although it needs final sanding. but the motor mounts were drilled. You could see like
Look at that.
Wow, interesting pattern.
the hole for the needle valve is already there.
Oh yeah.
And so the challenge was, and I went over to a mech engine friend of mine, and we went through dozens of engines trying to figure out what in the world was this plane set up for. It's all
Right.
drilled. And even the slot you can see here
Oh yeah.
for the timer arm. So
Right.
you knew it was an ignition engine. And as John was pointing out, you know, the lugs for this guy are above the engine center line.
Right.
That focus. And so it's very specific. If you didn't want to redo the whole front end of the airplane, you needed to find the engine that was built around.
Sure.
And bingo, that's the one.
Well, you know what? This is a good transition. We got Sparky in here. He came in when we was talking about an old Sparky engine. So perfect timing, Sparky.
Yeah.
Sparky, do you know David Hall?
No.
Okay.
All right.
So Robert,
Yeah, speak.
All
You
right.
got to move to your right, David.
oh, I was just reading him, Sir Robert.
Yep.
So, Robert, you're referring to Sparky?
Yes.
All right. Because
You
Sparky used
know-
to fly at Woody and Arrows a long time ago. That's why I was asked if you knew each other. Because Sparky used to fly at Woody and Arrows, and he
Really?
grew up in Southern California.
Oh,
You know
I didn't
Bill
know that.
Noyes? Do you know Bill Noyes?
By name. We had a contest that had his name on it for a while.
I guess he passed away then.
That's my understanding, yes. I didn't know him.
Used to fly with him and Tom Warden.
Mhm. Well, you may know a couple of other names, and this airplane that I was just showing, this Fireball, was built by Lee Strickland.
Oh, I know Lee.
I know Lee, knew Lee.
Yeah,
Sounds familiar.
he passed away last summer, and you know, we miss him. He was a good guy with motors. There were a lot of guys in the club that would seek him out to ask questions about what prop would be good and so on.
What year did they pave that place? When I was there, it was all grass.
Are you talking about Whittier Narrows, or are you talking about Sepulveda Basin?
Whittier Narrows.
Oh man, that way predates me. I believe that field was opened as one of the first two recreational facilities on that Army Corps land. There was the pistol range, and right next to it, the airplane
Plus
flying
horse stables
facility.
down the way. The horse stables are down there.
They are, but I think probably in the late 50s, that would be my guess, they paved it.
No, because it
No?
wasn't paved in the late 60s.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, currently there's 3 paved circles. There's one paved circle with a speed cage around it. There's 2 others that are adjacent to that are paved. And then there's a carrier circle, and all it has is a concrete deck.
The
And
tether car cage still there?
the tether car cage is still there. And in fact, they rebuilt that here a year and a half ago. The guys, yeah, there you are.
This is Tom Warden, and I don't know who the kid is, but that's the tether car cage there. And if you look here, it's all grass. This magazine was 71.
Trees
but I
are a
can't
lot
tell,
smaller too.
Are we looking towards the river there?
Yeah, you're okay. You know how the freeway's there?
Yes.
The freeway would be, let me see, to Tom's right. So it'd be off to this side, this way. So you're looking
Okay.
into the field, like, yeah, you're looking towards the river.
Yeah, so you would be looking towards the and I always get confused whether that's the Rio Hondo River or if that's the
LA River.
well, it's not the LA River. That goes in a different place, but yeah, it's still there. There's also with the equivalent of 2 grass circles. They're not really circles. They're just areas big enough, and they're using those for combat flying actively.
I would imagine the parking lot is not a gravel road, right? You come off of Rosemead, make a left and come down that gravel road.
Well, you come off of Rosemead Avenue and then, or Boulevard, I forget which, and then there's a loop, a paved loop that goes around inside the park. And then there's a parking lot near the restrooms, but there's also what I always use is a dirt road and a gravel lot that's right next to the freeway. And that's just the closest walk if you don't want to carry all your stunt paraphernalia along the way. You can just park there and it's 30 feet to the pavement. So it's
there was no paved road when I was there. It was a gravel dirt road or whatever. And
well,
I don't
sometime
remember
late,
restrooms. I think they might have had porta potties, but I don't remember them.
I think sometime late last century, in the 1900s, they invented pavement and they put some in there.
Yeah.
It was an innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the stunt circles were paved in 1990. I don't know when they were paved, but I was there in 1990. It was paved, ballpark.
And it's, judging by the condition, it's probably that original pavement still there. I know at our local field in Sepulveda Basin, I'm desperately trying to get the city. So the 2 fields are different. They're both on Army Corps land, but Whittier Narrows is actually a county regional park. So the county manages it. And Sepulveda Basin is actually a LA City park. And I'm desperately trying to get them to do pavement repairs so that before some of our guys break an ankle in some of the cracks. The cracks are literally 6 inches wide and 5 or 6 inches deep. So
do they still fly at Santa Anita?
no, not that I know of.
Now, what's the other site in the NAG that Al Heiger talks about? Is that 3 flying sites he mentioned? What's
Right.
the third one?
The third one is, the Valley Circle Burners. Our home field is Sepulveda Basin, but we've managed to pick up half a dozen members that are very active, flying almost every week. We found a park in Camarillo, right next to the Camarillo Airport, and they have a grass field. And we made certain arrangements that we're not first priority users, but we rent it every Wednesday morning. So for a very small fee, we're able to use that every Wednesday morning. And that's what you're probably referring to, Charles, the secondary field.
Okay, I've never been there. I would like to check it out someday. I don't know if it's further away or closer to me. Would that be?
That's going to be further. It's
Okay,
going to be further. It's in Ventura County, and
that is a lot further. Yeah.
It's just inland from Oxnard.
Okay.
But it's the grass is usually in pretty good shape, and we've had our interesting situations. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, I believe, our club members were out, got their gear out, they started flying, and one of the airport tower operators, so FAA person, immediately jumped in the car and raced over to find out, oh, no, you can't be flying here. And, they always mistake us for flying drones, and they don't want drones flying around the airport because of some obvious problems. And then
reason.
Yeah, then they realize, okay, it's on steel lines, and okay, they have not only permission, but they rented it, and they've got insurance. And so the airport manager, the previous airport manager, we were on very good terms with, and this current guy that came over, he once he figured out what was going on, he stuck around for half an hour and watched the guys flying and asked a lot of questions.
Oh, cool.
That's
That
awesome.
happened to us at Cincinnati. There was a contest down there, sanctioned contest, and the airport called the police, and the police sat in the parking lot and had to talk to somebody about flying model airplanes in the model airplane designated park.
Yeah.
They thought we were flying drones. No.
Let me interrupt you guys. I have some comments from Jonathan Carradas. He says, hiya, folks, from Kiwi Land. Had some warm, good flying weather. Hope it continues. Nationals starting in a couple of days. And then he also says, hiya, Santa. John, I think your Warp 15 delivery on Christmas Eve made you younger.
That's because I'm covering my bald head.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And yeah, go ahead, Stuart. Thank you for getting my attention.
We were talking about this last week or whatever, or a couple of weeks ago. You were interested in possibly getting one, Charles? Was it you and Phil Bailey?
I think so.
Okay. I tried to get a hold of the guy that did this one for me, but I know another guy that might be able to print them too. So I'm going to look into it, but I just wanted to see if there's anybody else that wanted one.
Always can have one extra somewhere laying around.
Yeah, in a smaller size though, right, Stuart?
Yeah, smaller. I was thinking a lot smaller.
You
2
want to make
inches
it smaller?
It have to
Okay.
fit in an SB11.
All I want to know is who would maybe want one and what size. Then I'll try and I got to see if they can even do it that small, like
Be
into
2 inches tall, whatever it scales down to, 2 inches tall. I'll
Okay.
take one.
Okay.
It's light.
Did you want
Sure.
one, Charles? Then
Yeah, if it's 2 inches, like Sparky said, yeah.
okay. I didn't know if you wanted them all the same size or different sizes because they can alter it possibly. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. See how. And again,
Yeah, 2 inches
Yeah,
would probably be
'cause
good.
2 inches tall would be too tall for an SB11.
okay. So Charles, you want one?
Make it maybe, if you can, maybe 1.75 inches then.
You can always, there's a saw. They make a saw, you just cut the bottom off.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you're losing a lot of the, like him with the stick and all of that he's got in his hand.
Well, that's his hands. He's there's no stick.
You lose his hands if you cut too much up. All you wind up with is from the neck up.
Yeah, then you'd have a bit of maybe a little bit more of a problem gluing them in. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
This is not-
I'm
You
gonna
should-
go grab a measurement off an SB11 just as a reference.
thank
and
you.
I'll
There
see
you
what we
go.
get.
Thank you.
Hang on.
Good idea.
Grab a Williams Brothers pilot, measure an 8
There's-
scale
there's a
Williams
Williams-
Brothers. There
Make
you
it
go,
big
right
here.
there. How tall is it?
And I'm measuring from the top of his helmet to the flat base is 1 and about 7/8.
2 inches tall.
So that's this guy right here.
Well, I know I'd have to trim off to the shoulders with that one.
So, is there anybody else that might be interested in one?
I'd be interested in one at 1.5 inches, 1 5/8.
An inch? Sorry, what was that again, John?
1.5 to 1 5/8. In that range.
Okay. All right. And I think Phil Bailey wanted one last time when we were talking.
Yeah, he said he wanted one.
Jim
Okay.
Hoffman, did you want to get in on this action?
I do.
I have an airplane with a Snoopy in it. I could
know.
share.
Oops.
Mark's got his hand up.
Mark, you want
Brad,
one?
Yes, sir.
you have an image of your Snoopy airplane, Jim? You want to share?
Yeah, I have the
All right.
Snoopy. Let
Do
me
you want-
share.
Mark,
Me-
do you want
me-
2 inch? Sorry, Jim.
Shorter if they come that way.
Okay. Well, do you have a preference of size? And I'll see if they can size it too. I got to look into this to see if we can do it.
Yeah, if you need it, if we want more smaller ones, so you don't have too many small ones. We can agree upon a certain height
A site, okay.
that
Oh.
will work for everybody.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jim, how
Stuart?
tall is that?
Say again, please.
How tall is that, Snoopy?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, that's all right.
Hey, Stuart,
Yep.
Very
Inch
cool,
and a-
Jim.
an inch and a half will give you a 1/4 inch to the canopy, to touching the canopy.
That's
So an
good.
An inch and a half, like if you can get that whole unit, an inch and a half high, that'd be beautiful.
Yes, I agree.
All right, thank you, Lynn. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Make them all the same, inch and a half, whatever, make it easy.
Okay. I'll see what I can find or what I can come up with.
I'd be interested too, Stuart. I think they look great.
All right. Anybody else? Last call.
Yeah, count me in. I'll take 2 of them at an inch and a half.
But who was that? Sorry.
Al,
Al Ferraro.
Okay.
And we have old control line pilot. He says, tied up tonight, like given. Thank you, Bob Whitley. And he says, catch you another night. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year, Bob.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Oh, you said 2?
Yes, 2.
Okay. All right. I'll see what I can do. When I did this, I just used an acrylic paint to paint them.
Yeah.
So, but you can use whatever you want. It's plastic.
Oh,
so
okay.
Just
Beautiful.
cheap paint at the dollar store.
okay. Thank you, Stuart.
Appreciate your help on that, Stuart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
thank
see.
you, Stuart.
Yeah, they look cool.
I have a question for the high-tech trimmer guys out there.
All right.
So, you know, the strips, oh, this one's easier. These, right?
Oh, the trip strips?
Yeah, trip strips, right.
Zigzag tape.
So you put these on the elevator, I guess. Where would you put this?
Stabilizer.
Dab.
On the stabilizer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3/4 inch after the leading edge with the zigzag forward.
Okay. So.
Yep.
Now I made them with label maker tape.
Hmm.
You know,
I think-
and I used a
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Ah,
that wave wheel,
Yeah,
and I cut it on, you know, the green cutting pad,
good idea.
and so cut it in half. And it cuts really easy, and it has two, you know, you
yeah,
get
it gives you 2 pieces. Yeah.
2 pieces, and the adhesive is really good. You know, it's really sticky. I mean, this is my first attempt at it, and I just eyed it up down the middle and did it, and it's 9 thousandths thick.
Oh,
So is that thick enough?
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, because let me see, turn it on. It's
Try it on the wing at about 20% cord too.
say that again.
Try it on the wing at about 20% cord.
Yeah, see, so you see it's
Very good.
Cool. Very good.
Anyway, it's 9 thousandths. So I mean, you could stack them too, but so put it on the wing. I have a P40, so it has a real fat airfoil already. I was thinking about putting them on the, you know, elevator or stabilizer. So it goes on the elevator.
So the stab.
Stabilizer.
Yeah.
I mean, on the,
Stabilizer.
Yeah.
Yep.
and then you're saying again, how far back from the front?
I'd go 3/4 inch for me.
And then I believe that the stabilizer's tapered.
That's right.
So put it straight or put it with the taper.
With the taper.
Parallel to the leading edge.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask a dumb question? What's that for?
That's well.
Make it hard to wipe your plane off.
How does it work?
Messes up your, mess up your finish.
So-
No,
So
I think
actually, so what should I be feeling, differently? Cornering or better tracking?
It turns better.
Turn better?
probably flying level, you'd notice it.
Okay.
You're on the stabilizer.
So on the stabilizer, it would make the plane fly level better,
Yeah, track better, yes.
track better. But how about, I'm looking for more, harder corners.
I wouldn't
Add
think,
some solder to the tail wheel.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, solder to the.
Move the
that's right.
CG back.
That's right.
All
Seal
right.
the hinge line if you haven't.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Are your hinge lines sealed, Al?
Yeah, that'll help.
That'll make a difference.
oh, really?
That's bigger than anything we're talking about here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, seal the hinge lines for sure. Then it'll definitely turn better.
Okay. I mean, I already put more elevator than flap, and that
That's
helped
good.
a lot. And flying it slower helped a lot.
Sealed hinge lines are like on the top of the list on the Windy Ertnowski Bible.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I tried it on another plane. I didn't notice any difference, but well, whatever.
Okay.
And the
Hey,
biggest,
I'm sorry.
for cornering is flap to elevator ratio. And it seems like the less flap movement, the better.
Right.
When it works really good.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example of that. I had an airplane that was flying like a bit of a dog, and I wanted to fly it in a contest, and I was frustrated right up till the day before the contest. And I thought, you know what? Seems to have big gaps in these hinges, and I know darn well I should really try to seal the hinge lines. And the only reason I hadn't done it is because it was iron-on covering, and I was afraid that if I ever had to remove it, I would destroy the iron-on covering trying to get the stuff off. But I thought, damn it, I really want to do well at this contest. I'm going to try it. So the night before the contest, I taped the hinge lines and went out and won the contest.
Wow.
So I was stuck with that ever since. I've been a very firm believer in taping your hinge lines.
Dennis?
Yeah, I was just.
Or you muted yourself, Dennis.
Muted.
That's. I am unmuted. What's going on?
I don't
Now
know.
we're good.
We hear you now. Go ahead, Dennis.
All right. I was just gonna this maybe a quick thought. Al disappeared now. I'm curious what those trip strip would do on the stabilizer of a combat plane. I'll bet that would be an interesting little on-off experiment.
Cool.
Yeah, maybe Mike might experiment, but I know they're busy preparing for the trials.
I don't think
Okay. Have
So
you tried
what's
it,
that-
Howard?
no, I don't think you'd notice it.
You don't think so? Okay.
I was trying to find a reference in this book here, Model Airplane Aerodynamics. I remember reading this a year or so ago, and I thought the trip strips are to help keep the air adhered to the wing.
So it's
Or
like
the-
a vortex generator.
But I
You're
can't
trying to
find that.
manage the boundary layer and the separation.
Yeah,
So
the trip strip switch changes the flow from laminar to turbulent in a known place. If you don't have that, it'll change from laminar to turbulent anyhow, but the transition point will wander around. And that can, Igor wrote a piece on that a while back. You can look that up on stabilized. If the transition is wandering around, it changes the pressure distribution on the stabilizer, and the airplane can not fly level very accurately.
Thank you, Howard. It sure saved me time.
I doubt you'd find it there.
Now, I remember reading it in here. I just can't locate where I came across that.
You found it there. It might be for a different purpose. Like in free flight airplanes, fly a lower Reynolds number, they put them on wings and stuff. Helps them stay up longer.
I think it lets them run with a much further aft center of gravity, but in a more predictable way, because the center of pressure is not wandering around.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
But they're masters of all those tricks.
Yes.
I was just looking at one of our club members' planes. He just came out with his new plane for the year, and it's Kestis de Barbis.
Yeah.
And he's got he calls it his Electrica 2. And he's got it's very light. It came out incredibly light. And he's got a different pattern of oh, my mind's going blank, but basically turbulators on the wing. He doesn't have them paired this time. He's got them, separated by, I'd have to look at the picture, but inches apart. And man, that thing turns. Wow.
Now, did he have that plane at the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge, or is it a new plane since then?
I'm not sure. I don't think he had it at the Stunt Challenge, because I think that the first time I saw it was about 3 weeks ago, and that was only its second trip to the field.
Okay, yeah.
And you can tell it's electric, and the nose on it doesn't have the cheek cowls anymore like his previous one did. He's got a different mold, and he's got a annular air inlet around the spinner.
Oh, nice.
And it's got a different color scheme. I've got some pictures. I don't know how to put them up here, but
you have them on your computer, the pictures? Or do you have them in your hand?
I think I've got them on I know I have them on my phone. I'm not sure if I've transferred them I think I've transferred them to the computer too.
Okay, yeah, just bring it up on your computer first.
Okay.
And then once you bring it up on your computer, then we'll go from there.
Okay, you guys keep talking and
okay,
doing
let me know when you're ready.
All right.
Excellent. That'd be great, because his planes are beautiful. And I understand he makes his planes mostly out of foam.
Yeah,
a special foam.
Well, he's using I think it's 1.5 millimeter foam, and it's glassed on the inside and the outside for a sandwich.
I have while you're doing that, David, I have some comments from Pete. That's Paul Taylor. He says, sent, Happy New Year, guys. And he says, what's the strip y'all talking about that goes on the stab?
Pinking tape.
And then he said, got it, never mind. So he got it. Hey, Bob Gore, you're go ahead, Sparky. What?
That was Pete?
Yeah, Paul Taylor.
Yeah.
His handle is Pete.
Say, man, hey, Pete.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one here handy.
Okay. All right, if it's up, then go down to the bottom of the Zoom meeting there. You'll see a green sign there. It says share screen. Hit that.
Let me do some shrinkage here. And where am I looking for the Zoom share?
It's right in the bottom in the center. If you move your mouse kind of near your taskbar, it should come up.
I'm not seeing that.
Take your mouse and go down toward the bottom, and you should see a mute, stop, video, participants.
No, I'm sorry,
Green in the middle.
Let me scroll. No, I don't see that. I get a screen that says Zoom in the middle, and it just has one blue button over to the right. Oh, there's another Zoom screen. Let me check that one. No.
The one that you see us on.
I've lost you guys now.
Said that.
Charles,
Yeah. Oh, popcorn. All right, you made yours. Huh? Mine was bought. I didn't build it. I bought it.
ah,
Yeah, you're like that.
So I have while you're doing that, I have another comment from Jonathan Carradas. He says, a real dumb question for the aces, Charles. With all this stuff about turbulators, air dams, T-bars, stuff, has anyone ever put a wing in backwards?
Yep. Yes, I have.
All that stuff, yeah.
Upside down. Yep. Been there, done that. Long time ago.
Trailing edge forward.
Two sides of the same wing.
I haven't done that one.
Yeah, lefts.
turned it into a canard.
How'd
Yeah.
that work out?
Well, it's called a canardly.
Canardly fly?
fly.
Yeah, canardly
Hardly
fly.
fly.
All right, you want to give this a try, Charles?
Yeah, well, it should be automatic. You hit that after you hit this, you found the share screen button.
Yeah.
Okay, so now when you hit that screen share button, you should see a gallery of items. You got to pick the one you want to share now.
Oh, okay. Let me back up here.
Got to be open on your computer.
Yeah, it was, and I'm not seeing it on the choices to share.
Open it on your computer. So you can see it. Then hit
Yeah,
that. Then hit that
I'm-
share button. It'll give you a choice between this screen and the picture, and hit on the picture.
And while you're doing that, Jonathan Carrata says, assuming the flaps went at the rear as usual. Yeah, usually the flaps are at the rear.
I don't know, I was just thinking if there's an old time biplane, can't remember the name of it, and I don't think I have a plan. It was designed with airfoils that looked like they were backwards.
Oh,
All right,
Wow.
it was designed that way, and he claimed that it was the answer for biplanes, I guess. Although I never heard of anybody actually copying that, so,
Sounds like more pseudo aerodynamics.
yeah.
Was that in the April issue of the magazine?
John, does that ring any bells with you? A biplane design with backwards airfoils?
You know, deep back there somewhere, it's tickling a node, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's your cat.
I don't
Oh,
know.
she's not there.
Oh, my God.
Hey, Brent Williams, thank you for coming in. Appreciate
Hi,
it.
Brent.
How's it going, guys?
Hey,
Doing
Brent.
well.
Hey, Brent.
Brent.
Got show and tell tonight.
Oh, great, great. We're trying to,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess we can do that until David
All
Hall
right.
out.
All right, so here is some 3D printed 4S 4200 end caps.
Nice. Oh, that looks great.
Ah, I like that.
Gives
18650.
channels where you would put your nickel strips or your copper welding desoldering braid, which is probably superior. That's the channels right there that are accommodating that.
I
And
like
then
that.
the balance cable goes up the middle and
I
then
like that. Very nice.
That is nice.
comes out right through there. And then this is, the wires will come out through that. And then there is a, see if I can get that to sit still for a second. And there is a top cap that gets super glued on that.
Yep.
Just keep it from turning into a dead short, you know?
Yeah, very good.
So this was, I took Dave Rigotti's idea and upsized it. So I shamelessly stole and modified
Yep.
Dave's design. So I've got a 2S one that's printing right now as a prototype. So today has been prototype day. So kind of cool. So
It is.
it's not necessary to use these to build a pack, but this is a interesting solution that gives some stuff. So you've got an air gap that you can see there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
keeps your cells from touching. And then with the top thing on there, that keeps you from having a dead short. I'd still use the fish paper rings on the top. And I'd probably still PVC wrap it just for one extra layer of safety, but you could probably also do that one layer of safety with electrical tape, really, if you were so inclined. But anyhow, that's the cool thing. I like Dave Rigotti's thing where he used that desoldering braid instead of nickel strips. One 0.15 millimeter nickel strip is only good for about 5 amps, and a copper braid that you could use on here is good for about 35 or 40. So there's some interesting things of why a person might use copper over nickel and solder it instead of doing the spot welding method. So
Very nice. That looks really good.
that's a 4,600 milliamp hour 4S setup. So that's enough battery right there to power just about anything you could throw at it. That'd potentially fly an SV11, 60 ounce SV11 right there. So without the without the leads on it and without the stuff on it, this weighs 9.7 ounces as it sits right here.
Wow, that's hard to beat that combination.
So
the
with
power
the,
and the weight. Wow.
with 12 gauge leads on there and everything, I'm anticipating about a 10 ounce battery. So that's pretty awesome for
It is.
That is
That is.
fantastic.
So as far as the cost of what I have in this, each one of these batteries costs about $5 or $6 each. So for the do-it-yourselfer, you're looking at a $25, $26 battery if you source all this. Well, maybe just put it at $30, but you're looking at a $30 battery that potentially you're getting at least 300 flights out of for this. So that's pretty awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I agree. That's what has me all excited about it.
And you're
Well-
able to buy matched cells to build these?
They're good enough. They're mollicell, so it's like I don't know how matched they need to be, or if it gets addressed in the balancing process when you charge each time. Like
Online.
so, I don't know
You need-
what good enough means.
Yeah.
If the factory level matching is good enough.
Can I have one?
You can have them all.
Because the package wasn't full.
So there's some channels in here to accommodate the balance leads kind of thing. So should be a cool little product that
I like it.
I'll probably end up releasing these files to the wild. And if anyone has access to a 3D printer, you should be able to print them off. So I lengthened the top on mine a little higher than Dave Rigotti's. I wanted to be able to accommodate 12 gauge wire. So I made the top just a tiny bit taller than what he did with his 4S 2800.
Good idea.
Files. So yeah, you just have to accommodate a little more space if you want to fit that gauge of wire in there. So, but anyhow,
Brent, will you be selling those?
I might. So I haven't decided if I'm going to or not.
Okay.
Because I know not everyone has a friend with a 3D printer or family with a 3D printer. So I may sell these, but I'll also most likely upload the files to Thingiverse, and anyone can just print them on their own that way. So
Thanks.
so I'm gonna draw these up for 2S 4200s, 3S 4200s, the 4S, and I might draw up a 5S. Fred Underwood up in Oregon has requested a 5S 4200 done up this way. So it's I'm paying my 14-year-old son is the one doing the drawings in Fusion 360. So it's pretty awesome. He drew up all of this. My 14-year-old, he did it in a day. So
wow.
So yeah, I'm pretty proud of the kid. So
yeah, you selling him?
Yeah.
Hey,
Brett.
Joe Gilbert's in the house. Thank you, Joe.
Anyhow,
Thank
that-
you for coming in.
That's
I'm
pretty
late
awesome.
into an
What the-
airport party. All's good.
All right.
Brent,
Anyhow.
can I ask a quick question? What
Yeah.
kind of plastic are you using? to
PLA.
print? PLA.
Using PLA.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that does that melt? I found it gets soft in the sun. If you leave it in the car in the sun, it wilts.
That's yet to be determined. But the nice thing is the file works. So, if you have a higher temperature material, anyone could replicate this. I'll probably, Howard, you talked about wanting a brick style 6S 2800 setup. I could probably replicate this in a 6S, just add another bank of cells out here for the 18650 style thing, and that way it's not so long. So I don't know if anyone's seen the difference between 18. Sorry, it's hard to do this when you're juggling.
Yeah, you're doing good though with one hand.
All right, so here's the difference between 18650 and 21700.
Whoa.
So that's the difference. So the 18650 is, a 2800 milliamp hour. This was the last of the P26As, which are 2600 milliamp hour. The new ones are 28, and then this one's the 21700. So you're getting 4200 milliamp hours, and these are rated for 40 to 45 amp discharge rate also. So to all the pioneers that are testing these things out, it's kind of a new, interesting era in electric stunt, is with the possibility of building your own batteries that will be successful and powerful. So.
What was it, about 15 years ago, we were using the old style motors, and the batteries, you'd have to stop and change batteries halfway through the flight.
Yeah, the cadmium batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you do the math, it's like crazy if you think about how many flights you could get out of a setup like this. So like if you think that you got 1,200 flights out of a set of 4 that you built yourself, so that's a lot. So if you think if that was a glow setup and you're using 5 ounces of fuel for 1,200 flights, that's 6,000 ounces of fuel. And if you divide that by 128, that's 46 gallons, almost 47 gallons of fuel that you would, that's by building these batteries yourself. And if they go 300 cycles per pack, that's equivalent. If you built 4 of them, that would be the equivalent of 47 gallons of fuel. So, when you start talking about dollars and cents, guys talk about how expensive it is to get into electric and everything else. Like, well, how expensive is 47 gallons of fuel for a SV11 size plane or something like that? So,
yeah, even if you buy the fuel at Charles prices, that's a lot of battery packs, shall we say? So
yeah. So
the thing that it just occurred to me when we talk about battery life and everything like that, you said 800 cycles on a pack.
I'm using a low figure of, lithium ion is supposedly good for, almost 1,000. They say possibly 1,000 cycles, but if we go way low and say 300 cycles per pack.
I'm just curious, if you're running a glow engine, how many flights can you get on a glow engine before you either wear it out or have to rebuild it?
What brand?
That's like,
pick a brand. It doesn't matter at that kind of numbers. If you're running Super Tigers, it's going to be every 50 runs, you're going to have to rebuild it. If you're running an ABC, I don't know if anybody really knows what the lifetime is on it, but the bottom line is that I think you're talking about batteries that are lasting as long as engines do. not
Yeah,
just
but what
you
about
know,
the
fuel
bearings
tanks.
in your motor? How long do they last?
Who cares? The motor's $40, $50, you know, so that's the,
Well, the motors only have two wearing parts. They have ball bearings in each end, and there is nothing else on the motor that wears. So you can go change your bearings to the tune of $8 to $10 a bearing. I mean, if you just did it
Barbara Walters
out of,
died.
every year or every other year
Barbara
or something like
Walters
that.
died
Yeah.
just now.
Now, since
Hang
2009,
hang on, Dennis. 1 second. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Joe? Someone died?
Barbara Walters just died today.
That's
I
true.
just watching the news. Barbara Walters.
Barbara Walters.
Yeah,
Barbara
just
Wawa.
passed away.
Okay.
Barbara Wawa passed away. I was telling
Barbara
Colleen,
Wawa.
sorry.
You must
Sorry.
have had the jab.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
That's it.
Appreciate that. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dennis.
well, we're having a clear, frank discussion of this topic. Oh, wait a minute. I think I got Joe on that.
1,000 flights a year anyhow. Which
Yeah,
avians
but
flies 1,000 flights a year?
I've never flown that much. I know that there are people who do, and you know, it's just you take a look at the overall maintenance and everything like that. I guess the long and short of it, trying to tie a bow on on this is that I'm not sure that a case can be made. I think the case can be made that electric is actually a lower cost and longer
that's
lasting
correct.
option.
That's correct. I can't argue that.
Yeah,
plus no fuel soak. And
But they're still fossil fuel powered, Dennis. Do not deny that.
that.
Every battery airplane you fly is fossil fuel powered. You charge it with electricity made from a power plant. From
I'm not
fossil
done. That's it. And the
depending
fuel
on where
was,
you're at in the country, they might even be nuclear.
and
It
the
might
fuel
even be
wasn't
nuclear.
the fuel wasn't pumped out of the ground either. So
Yes, it was. All fossil fuel comes from the earth.
synthetic oils, methanol, nitromethane. I don't think
That
you'll
still
find any
comes-
of those.
They come
Mostly
from
hydroelectric and nuclear up here.
how much? 8%? 8 or 10%?
We got no coal left in the province. It's all mostly nuclear,
There you
followed
go.
by hydroelectric, and a few gas turbines for backup.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about going to diesel power, so I can buy my fuel for $5, $7, $8, $10 a gallon over at the gas station.
He's going to go to a diesel powered gas engine. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Hey, Charles.
Yeah, Mark.
You know, I suggested about a month ago that the electric form should be Monday night and the glow form on Friday.
Oh, that's so good. Oh my goodness, that's funny.
I think we all can get along.
Okay.
I don't know.
I really do. I mean, they're both, I've flown both glow and electric. They're both good.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's it.
You know, whatever floats your boat.
That's right. I like flying kites, Charles.
Very cool.
Yeah. I don't see Len here, but I always pick on Len over that. He always picks on me.
Len
Looks like is he still, I don't see him. Is he gone?
He's gone, I think.
He's gone. He'll probably be back. He normally
probably fell asleep and hit his computer and knocked himself off.
Maybe. I have some comments in the chat box. Let me catch up. Jonathan Caradas. Oh, wait. Actually, I got to go back. Paul Taylor says PLA plus takes the heat better, which you guys were talking about that with the end caps being made out of PLA. And then Jonathan Caradas says, Dennis, do you fly anything with a real engine in it these days? And, what's the
everything I have? Everything I have flies with a real motor.
That's
all right.
Correct. That's correct.
A motor. I do not fly anything that has an engine in it.
Okay.
He drives to the contest with the engine and flies them.
I do drive. My car has an engine in it.
Not mine.
And I was at the hobby shop today and I saw something I always wanted. It's the visible V8, the plastic model kit.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, the last several cars I've had 4 cylinders in it. So this might be the last V8 I ever get, but I think I'm going to get a visible V8 because I always wanted one.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Monogram.
Is it monogram, you said?
I don't think it's
Revell.
monogram anymore. It's somebody else is making
Was it
it now.
Revell?
I
Was it
think
Revell?
it is based on the old monogram. What I really wish I could find is they had a Pratt and Whitney, a 9-cylinder Pratt and Whitney for the longest time, and they don't have that one, or that one's not made anymore, which is really a shame.
Thank
But-
you, Jim, for coming in, Jim. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Happy New
Good
Year.
night, Jim.
Happy New Year, Jim.
Jim.
Happy New Year.
And a frantic first.
Hey, Charles, you want to try this Electricus picture?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's see if I can make it happen.
There's Lynn. There, now he's down
Here
again.
you go. He's starting. Oh, look at that.
There it is.
Beautiful.
Ooh,
Beautiful.
nice.
That's awesome.
That
I
is
don't know how
awesome.
I don't know how it's displaying.
Oh, it's
I'll be
displaying
the test-
nice.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
I did
very nice.
a write-up for the club newsletter. I think it originally was 60 ounces with just the one coat of clear on top, and he wasn't happy with it. It was too floaty, so he went back and put on a second coat of clear. You can see.
62.
I'm not sure exactly, Sparky. Some of the features front to back, it's got the ventilated spinner, but the spinner back plate has got fan blades in it. You can see the annular inlet around the spinner for the cooling air.
Mhm.
On the top, it's got the hatch for the battery access.
Go ahead and.
That's got 6 air exhaust holes. There's also a panel on the bottom, and I've got probably a dozen different pictures that I could kind of walk through.
That'd be fine.
You can just barely see on the wing here. You can see the turbulators probably somewhere around 25%.
Yes,
forward.
I see it.
And they don't go all the way out to the tip. They're the last one I can see fairly clearly is around the E on Electrica 2. The plane is a take apart, and I can give you some details on different pieces. It's got the inset hinges, so it's got there's no real need for the plastic hinge seals. It's got the nose of the control surface is buried up in the fixed portion. Let's see, what else can I say about from this one? The rudder's adjustable.
Who built that?
I'm sorry.
Who was the builder of that?
Kestis.
I wondered if it looks like Kestis.
It looks like Kestis's too.
Yeah, if you look on the wing near the flap hinge, you can see his name on it.
He's a terrific builder and a heck of a flyer. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, fantastic builder. We like watching him come out and show us how it's done. Charles, can I just click on the left and right arrows and
Yeah,
move?
try it. Yeah, it should work the same. It's like on your computer.
Okay, yeah, that's working here. Did you guys get it?
Oh yeah.
Front view?
Yeah,
Okay,
very
so
nice.
now you're looking at the carbon spinner and the carbon prop. A prop I'll show you later was an experimental prop that he got from Sergey. And it's an incredible weight. I picked it up and couldn't believe it. So I got a picture of that for you. You can see on this one, can you see my cursor when I move it around?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can see this little latch pin here. So to pop this latch, it's a spring loaded, it's no different than any of the little RC, it was probably where he got it, little RC latch. So you just slide it and there's a pin on the inside and it's got a fixed hinge on the front that tucks in. Let's go to the next picture. A little bit different angle. You can see a little bit here of the fan blade that's built into
Oh,
the back
wow,
of
yeah.
the spinner. So that's an interesting feature that I was very curious about. You can also start to see a little bit more definition of where the turbulators are.
Yes, yeah, very good.
And he doesn't have them in close pairs, but you can see he's got them in alternating directions, trying to control the span-wise flow. A little bit more of a plan view, so you can start seeing the fuselage a little bit better. It's got the elliptical tail on it.
Very nice.
The
There's
bottom,
Kestis.
yeah, that's Kestis. He has to wear special stunt shoes so that he can set the plane down without
Put the
scratching
nose
it.
on it.
Yeah. He's got the typical removable tail wheel. So the strut is bent like a hairpin, and it's got a bump on it, and so you push it in, it depresses, and it pops into a slot in the tube that's inside the structure. Here's a view. You get a little bit better look at some of the take apart features. So you're obviously attaching the trailing edge spar here. You can see the spar carry through here. Get a little bit of detail on the geometry of the horn.
Is anybody nervous looking at those clevises? It just made me nervous seeing those clevises.
Very,
else?
very. That's the same thing that Kaz does on his, and those won't last 1,000 flights in my experiences.
Plus, I would put fuel tubing over it to keep it from coming apart.
Even nut on the back of it where it can't vibrate. I've had those come apart in Joe Gilbert's experience, but I was running gas and electric's smooth, so it's probably fine.
Yeah, it's a different thing. The other thing that's really important with this, and I've got an article that I'm working on for our club newsletter, is that if the weight of the push rod is very low, and if there's no asymmetry to it, then there isn't a lot of twisting motion going on to it. If you put a bend in a push rod and then you're flying at 3 Gs radial acceleration, you're always putting a twisting load into this, and that has to be reacted by just the pin and the clevis, and that is not a good thing. So geometry really does matter.
That's a good point, David. Great point.
Whether or not, yeah.
There's a question. Jonathan Carradas asked, do you have any idea what the wingspan is?
You know, I'd be guessing, but I think it's somewhere around 60 inches. I probably have it in my write-up, and I can check that and pop in later with an answer.
All right, thank you.
Here you can see
thing there looks like an Igor sensor.
That's correct.
This guy here is the little plastic block that goes with the latch. And
right.
You can see the hatch sits down against this very, very narrow ledge. So clearly very weight conscious. You can see the buried hinges here.
Yeah.
There's another view pretty much of the same area. So other than the balsa that's used in the bulkheads and just a very few other places, there really isn't any balsa in the airplane. This is all probably around 1.5 millimeter foam that's glassed on both sides. So it's a really sandwich core. Here's
it's
the
European looking inside to me. Do you agree with that? Anybody else been around the European airplanes? That's European inside. It's European inside. The mechanism looks very European.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very closely tied in with and buying a lot of things like these propellers and so on from guys he knows in the Ukraine. So that makes perfect sense.
It's an awesome airplane, I'm sure.
Oh, it turns like you can't believe. In fact, from him going from his previous plane, the one he probably flew in Las Vegas, to this one, he's having to adjust his flying style because this one right now is trimmed a little bit quicker. So I know he was fiddling with CG location and some other trim changes.
Flap elevators.
Here's the screw that kind of is like the, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's sort of the keystone that holds the whole mechanism together for the take apart rudder. So this comes out for adjustment or to start disassembling that.
Wow.
This is the special propeller that he was getting ready to test. He didn't test it on this particular day. And don't look at this data that was on this previous sleeve. That was he just reused the sleeve. But I was trying to get a view here to look at the camber on the blade.
Yeah, very nice.
That's this thing weighs, and I forget the fractions, but it's essentially a 9-gram propeller. Now try to put that in perspective.
1/3 of an ounce.
You know, if you had a typical 11.6, 11.5 wooden propeller like a Zinger or a BYNO or something like that, those are all running around 15 or 16 grams. If you use the mythically fabulous 11 by 4.5 Thunder Tiger plastic prop, that comes at a not mythically 35 grams. So it's just a huge difference in weight. And the only way you're getting away with this, it's balsa core out to about here, as far as I can tell. You can even see a little bit of the curvature change in the way the light reflects. So this is fairly thick, and from here on out, it's pretty thin. And it's just extremely light.
Remarkable.
Is that a Sergei Belko?
I believe it is. I'm not an expert on electric or on the Ukrainian stuff that isn't, say, F2C, but there's the brand name on it, and you know, you could chase that down if you'd like.
Yeah.
And I think that's the set of pictures that I have of his latest ride.
Awesome.
Cool.
I'll be the test pilot.
Say again.
I want to be the test pilot.
You know, I didn't want to be anywhere near it, because if I, you know, had a trick knee or something and stumbled and fell on it, boy.
That airplane's going to be awesome.
So what's the prop worth?
Say the question again.
What's the prop worth?
I
Any idea? Just curious.
I don't have any idea.
Okay.
I didn't ask that question. That's usually a question I stay away from on guys that come out to fly.
His plane sure was flying awesome in Vegas. It looked great in the air.
Mm-hmm.
This is a newer plane, Brent.
Yeah, I'm just saying Kestis's previous plane was some at Vegas.
Now Kestis came behind Dave Fitzgerald by how many points? Was it? Do you know?
I don't know. I know I think he set top. He was the top scorer in just the regular event, not the fly off. I think Kestis was the high water mark on that. So.
Man.
He was flying really well.
Thank you very much, David, for sharing that. That's great.
Yeah,
Brent, you wanting to,
here's one more show and tell. Here's the 2S 4200 pack.
Let me catch up with you 1 second. That's good.
This is just right off the printer. My son just finished this just right now. And, so this is a 2S 4200 pack. So this weighs 4.9 ounces as we look at it, and that's 4,200 milliamp hours. So this, with an appropriately high kV motor like 1800, 1900, should be able to be quite the power plant for flight streaks and ringmasters and all the stuff in that range.
Yeah.
Right, Dennis?
Absolutely.
So that's the 2S 4200 setup. So
very nice.
It occurs to me what you're saying about the lithium ions. This is just about as big a leap forward as when we first had the availability of LiPolys over NiCads.
Yeah.
All right, because that was a huge improvement in battery capacity and battery weight. And now we're looking at another, order of magnitude kind of thing here. You're looking at, 50% weight reduction, it seems, and things like that. That's
getting serious.
yeah, that's definitely the next big leap. So,
You're talking about a 5-ounce battery pack. Once it's all put together, a little over 5 ounces. And then the motor for something like this is only going to weigh 2.5, 3 ounces.
So
So
we can either look for smaller airplanes or 18-inch noses, right?
this weighs less. This weighs less than a Fox 35 setup.
Right. So it's either going to be a smaller airplane or have an 18-inch nose on it.
We could call it the Pinocchio.
Or
Yeah.
you just move the battery forward,
It's not enough battery there to balance out an SB11 or anything like the SB22.
No, this is for ringmasters and flight streaks.
It's ringmaster size. You still might need a 2-inch longer nose.
it's might still, but yeah, you're right. From the standpoint, the combination of the motor weight and the battery weight is going to be extremely light, and you might be up against a bottom limit, if you will, of how light you can make that. Now, if you build the rest of the ringmaster the way Joe built his, it's got to be weigh nothing, then your chance of balancing it just gets a lot better. So
That's right. A Brodak 25 is 5 ounces, and a little whatever tank you get and 2 ounces of fuel. That's the same thing what he's holding in his hand.
Yep.
A 2.5 ounce motor and 3 ounces of battery here in the same ballpark. For real.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about nitro.
Well, the problem with smaller electrics, especially, has always been you can get good power out of them, but it was a combination of power and weight. And really going smaller than that, things like the half A size and stuff, the airplanes, it's hard to duplicate a Reed Valve 049 for weight. And,
Dennis, I flew an airplane, a Pathfinder, I think, at Brodax years ago.
Yep.
And it didn't have enough battery to do 2 laps maneuvers. But if I remember 1 lap in every trick in the book, it did pretty darn good. Is that not true?
Really good. It's really good. It's still really good, but that airplane will get with just the battery. Well, I don't know. The batteries Brent has are bigger, and I've asked him to see if there's any smaller ones yet. But yeah, if we could put something, the equivalent of that in the Pathfinder would be like a 2 ounce savings on it. So
that airplane flew pretty darn good, if I remember right.
Yeah.
The 18650 size weighs 30 some odd ounces each, and these these are 67 ounces each battery, and the 18650 size is like 47 grams per battery. So I
flew the Pathfinder on 3 cell 1300s lipos, so it'd be a couple of sizes down from where you're at. So, but if we could get here from there, it would be it'd be compelling. And Joe's right, that Pathfinder. What I like about it, Joe flew it. He went and did a wing over, pulls out inverted about 10 feet off the ground. He says, "What the heck?" He comes back and pulls it out at 4 feet. He says, "Come down later." He says, I expected that thing was going to need more room than that.
That airplane would fly.
It flies like a real stunt plane. That airplane flew good. It's just small. Now you haven't put it on Spectra either, but that's another discussion.
Yeah.
Hey, what night do we have the Spectra discussion on, Charles? Oh,
I don't know. That's a good question. Let me welcome Stephen McBride. Hey, Stephen, thanks for coming in.
Hello,
I said Ruben because your handle on the show is Ruben, your dad. But
I'm using his computer at the moment.
No problem. And let me there's a comment by Jonathan Carradas. He's asking, why do these flash hairy new airplanes have elliptical wings?
They look good.
They like them. I don't know. They like them.
I'm going to let Howard answer.
It's an efficient way to build a hollow shell structure.
Strong.
They're curved in the curvature of the wing is 3-dimensional, so it's self-supporting in all directions.
But I'm not good enough to do it.
But it also has something to do with the lift, the way the lift is situated in the wing and all of that too.
Go get a smoothie with the Brodak 40 and put 2 ounces of lead on the gear and see how good you can make it fly.
Well, a smoothie isn't a true elliptical wing, though.
But it flies pretty good, John.
Yes, it does.
Put 2 ounces of lead on the gear on the bottom.
Oh,
The
yeah, get a little
CG's
bit.
messed.
You talk about the upright engine?
Yeah, the CG's way wrong on it, but it's a little bit elliptical. And if I was picking a wind airplane, somebody said wind airplane, I don't know. If I go fly in the wind, I'm going to grab my smoothie every single time. And if it's blowing 15 or more, I can fly it till you holler uncle after the engine quits.
Yeah.
Pretty good. That's pretty impressive.
Those smoothies will fly good in the wind. I don't know why. A Noble does good too. A combat ship's not worth a tiddly turd in the wind. I don't know why.
You almost got Lodke to hit his button there.
We're waiting, but I don't hear anything.
I saw that fish shaking.
Yeah.
There's something to the elliptical wing, but I don't know why. Howard can tell you if there's a reason.
Howard, you got to unmute your mic, Howard.
I think it's structural in this case. They look pretty though. They're all the rage. The world champs, everybody had those things.
I've never that's the most inefficient way to do inefficient wing going.
Huh?
Say that
Isn't
again.
Elliptical wing the most inefficient wing?
Well,
No.
no, in general.
No, it's the right answer.
Inefficient in how you use your time or what?
Live and
I don't know. I think, we've all I've all heard, the case that we should fly double tapered wings and stuff instead of straight wings because they fly better. But I'm not sure you can build a compelling case that says a Hershey bar wing isn't just as good as an elliptical wing or a tapered wing or anything else. I've never seen a compelling argument that says that it's better.
I think they suffer from upset, from turbulence.
Yeah. You can get into things like that, maybe, and that's about it. So
that's a big deal, though.
Tapered wing is a way to approximate the lift distribution of an elliptical wing with straight lines.
I think there's some truth in that.
Yeah.
We're going 55 miles an hour, y'all. It ain't rocket science.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Unless you Brett Buck.
It's no, it's complicated. It's everything that kill airplanes are plus a little more.
The tether is what makes it complicated, in my opinion.
Everything you compromise.
We need to mount an elliptical wing airplane to the hood of our car and run 55 miles an hour with little pieces of thread attached to it with a GoPro camera to see what's going on.
That's right. I've
Well,
got this little airplane called a Force.
The key to performance is, all right, mix my metaphors here. The perfect stunt flight always lives somewhere at the bottom of a gallon of gas. All right.
Right.
Because you don't know which gallon and how many gallons it'll take to get there. That's more important than the shape of the wing.
Dennis. You got to have Colleen telling you what you're doing wrong.
You can fly a substandard airplane over and put in a zillion flights with it. You still won't be good. If you're fighting the airplane.
I've got this airplane called a Force. It's a straight leading edge, constant taper, no taper and flaps. And when the conditions are right, I can make that airplane fly really well. But you let it get a little gusty and turbulent, and that straight wing thing's hard to trim right, in my opinion. Come to Tulsa, and I'll let you fly around the trees with a constant cord, and then you can take a tapered cord, and you'll pick the tapered cord every time to fly in the wind when it's bumpy.
Are you guys still flying at Bob's house or Bob?
Yes.
Hey, Brent, your mic is muted, Brent.
Yes, Sparky.
I said, if I come to Tulsa, we're going to go get jumbo burgers, right?
We can go to, I don't care. We'll go to the I Don't Care restaurant and get the biggest hamburger in town.
We're gonna have to cut that contest again. That was a good contest.
Come on.
Hey, I got it. Keith Trussell, you've been awful quiet, and it's only 5 more minutes. I end the live stream. Are you just enjoying the show?
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
We're keeping them awake.
Yeah,
It's bedtime in Oklahoma. It's
for the most
almost 11
part.
o'clock.
Well, I appreciate you, Joe, coming in this late. I know that we have some people also, even Lynn stays up. Dennis Adamison it's late for him. It's late for Mike Lonke. And it's late for Mark Wise. I appreciate you guys. Brad Lapointe, are you on the East Coast or West Coast of Canada?
He's right with me.
Yeah, I'm about 5 miles from Winning.
All right, so I appreciate you guys staying up so late. Thank you very much.
Hey, Keith,
Yeah.
thank you for the plan.
Oh, yeah.
Much appreciated.
Let me see that plan. What is that?
Miss
Ooh.
Laura.
Oh, Miss Laura.
Standing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's a nice looking airplane. I'm pretty impressed with it.
Mm-hmm.
What motor are you gonna put in that? I mean, what engine you gonna put in that? Excuse me. I know you're not gonna put a motor.
I'm a ways out from building that one. I haven't really
Okay.
thought about it yet. That one's a little further along in the queue.
You sound like Phil Bailey now.
Oh yeah, Phil Bailey and I are on the same page. We get so many airplanes in our brains and in our basements, it's unreal.
I understand that. I totally get that.
My basement looks like a hobby shop here. It's ridiculous. Ask Brad, he knows.
I got a
Oh.
project over there in his house.
Yeah, he's got one here even. Oh my
Hey, what
God.
are you doing tomorrow, Eddie?
I'm working, unfortunately, again.
Okay.
Yeah, 11:30 to 5 or 4:30.
I have a comment from Jonathan Carradas. He says, so Hinkle and Supermarine were onto it.
Yeah.
Probably
then-
talking about the elliptical wing platform.
I think so, yeah. And then
There's
he
a
goes
lot
on to say, ask what about Sparky's wing construction? Bloody rigid.
Yeah.
Bloody
It
right.
is.
Well, rigid is always a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want them flapping in the breeze.
No, unless you're building an ornithopter, flappy wings are no fun. So
They only do that once, Dennis. I know.
Yeah.
That is true.
Hey,
Oh,
Philip
yeah.
Bailey's in the house. You must have heard your name being called, huh, Phil?
Just got home.
Okay, yeah, but we was just
How are
talking
you
about,
guys?
I mean, Lynn was just talking about you.
Yeah, I was just saying
Uh-oh.
good things about you. You and I have
I hope
more airplanes in our basement than anybody on the planet.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't bet on that.
I gotta
No,
get some
that's
of
true.
them
We're
finished.
only kidding.
Uh-oh.
I gotta
Oh
get some of
my
them finished. Lordy.
I hate
How
to
many you
talk.
got, Joe?
I bet there's 40 airplanes hanging out in the garage. It's embarrassing.
Oh, Lord. Let's go to
That's
Joe's
it?
house and we'll just all fly Joe.
40, Joe?
What?
Just 40, Joe?
Yeah, what's up with that?
There's
I got
6 at the airport hanging up, you know?
I heard you ragging on the combat planes earlier. You
They
know,
don't win
if you
fly
flew
well.
combat, you'd have 100 of them.
That's probably true. No, I crash them. No, but combat planes don't wind fly well.
Some do.
They all fly great on the downwind side of the circle, man.
No, I'm talking about when the engine quits to do lazy eights and loops and flying without the engine running.
Oh no, because they don't have the profile on them. Yeah, yeah. But I'll tell you the one that does, Joe. A half A combat wing. You can sit out there and fly for as long as the wind's blowing. On a half A combat wing, you can do it forever.
I'll be darned. You know, that day we saw, what was that guy's name that Brenda made stop flying? We was at the Nats and he come by. He was just flying half A's and giving it heck, and it's so windy nobody else could fly.
Ron Colombo.
Colombo. He flew the heck out of that airplane. The wind was blowing.
Yeah. Speaking of flying, Charles, I missed the first part of the show where he asked if anyone flew Did anyone fly this week?
I did not.
Anybody?
I think
Sam and I
it was,
flew
Paul
yesterday.
Taylor.
I flew
mean,
this
not Paul
week.
Taylor, but Jim Hoffman, and John Callantine, and you flew, David.
Yep.
And Al, you flew, Al.
Yep, yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. Sam and I went yesterday. We flew a bunch of F2D matches, hence the repairs going on tonight, because we're going to go fly tomorrow. We had 6-degree weather yesterday, and it's going to be like 66 tomorrow. So we're going to try to fly. Well, we are going to fly tomorrow, and then we're going to fly on New Year's Day. We're going to go fly Saturday and Sunday. We're going to fly the next 2 days. So
Good show.
Good, that'd be great.
There's Sam back in the back. I see him back there.
yeah, he's putting in work right now. He's
Good
fixing his screw ups where he ran into me yesterday.
You're just in the way.
No,
No. I'm out there laying base for him. We're training. We're F2D training right now. So I'm just laying base and doing stuff, and he's supposed to be getting little nips on the streamer, right? Where I'm trying to teach him little nips, Brad, right? And he got some good ones yesterday, but then a few times he overshot a little bit, and we slapped wings and poked some holes and stuff like that. But you can't learn it if you're not out there practicing it. So
very good.
Hey, that's the most fun and exciting part of combat. The what?
we didn't have any of those yesterday. No, we had like one little wing slap where his prop went through my wing, so we got to fix a little covering. But other than that, we
We go to Whittier and we watch you fly that event with combat over there. That's the most exciting part to see over there. 30-second flight. Whack.
Hey, you guys, I'm going to end the live stream, and I really appreciate everybody coming
Happy
in.
New Year's, everybody.
Well, we have 20 people at the end of the show. I don't think I've had 20 at the end before. Thank you so much. And
Hey, it's last time this year.
yeah, good point. Last time, and we got a $20 super chat from John Kukulek. So thank you very much for that. And we have 27 likes. And we're going to end the live stream. And as a matter of fact, Caffeine just joined us. He's driving, and he's on the show. He's calling in from Indonesia.
Going out to fly.
Indonesia. We got Canada, and then USA. So we're doing really awesome. Hey, you guys, I'm going to end the live stream, but we're going to continue on into the after party. I want to thank everybody who's tuned in.
One more like.
Hopefully you have some more. Thank you very much. Hopefully you have a chance to work on your shop and go flying and come back and tell us all about it Monday. So until then, I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Charles.